Hey there, Hofstra fans. Welcome to this week's edition of the W.B. Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Mike Sullivan, joined by head coach of the Hofstra Pride Wrestling team, Rob Anspach. Coach, how are you today?
All right.
Coming off the grapple at the Garden first, just talk about the event, being a part of something at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, it was a great event for college wrestling, I think, in general. The teams that were in there was great. A great crowd, great atmosphere. I think the Garden did a fantastic job of trying to liven everything up with putting the pyro in there and the smoke machine, and they had the Knicks cheerleaders there. So it was great. It was an awesome event to be part of. But unfortunately, we didn't wrestle quite as well as I would have liked to. So, but it was an outstanding event.
You bring that up. Obviously not the results you're looking for against two top 5 programs in Ohio State and Iowa. You fall to both. Let's start looking at your wrestlers first with Steve Bonanno, of course, facing Matt McDonough off the bat, top wrestler, 125, struggles there, but has a better match against Nico Trigas. What did you see from Bonanno?
I thought, score-wise, the match was much worse against McDonough, but I personally thought Steve wrestled better in the first match than he did the second match. Matt McDonough, I think, is a guy that, he's the top guy in the country. The guy's been in the national finals for 3 years, a 2-time champion. He's one of those really elite guys, and Steve went out there. He got in on his leg attack right away, just wasn't able to finish. In the third period, he was able to ride McDonough for almost the whole period, which I don't think he's been ridden in his career besides one time when he lost in the finals the 1 year. So, I saw some pretty good things from Steve from that match. I thought the Trigas match, although the match was close score-wise, we just didn't do enough to win it. And I think, when we look at them, the matches that you'd think we were maybe favored in would be the match against Trigas. And to lose that one was a little bit more disappointing to me than the McDonough match was. So, I thought I saw some good things out of Steve, but we definitely need some work.
Similar story with Luke White, where against Iowa, ranked higher than his opponent at 141. He falls there, and then he also loses against Ohio State. Bonanno and White, arguably your 2 top wrestlers. So what do you think from Luke's matches?
Yeah, Luke, again, the Iowa match, we were expecting Luke to go out there and win that match. I thought he was very hesitant throughout the match, and he let the kid hang around. And when you let good guys hang around, they have a chance to win those matches. And, the kid was able to get a late takedown, and then as soon as almost like there was 30 seconds left in the match when he took Luke down, and at that point in time, something went off. Luke got out and he got in on a leg attack, but time ran out as he's in on the leg. And to me, I'm looking at Luke going, when was that earlier in the match? He had 6.5 minutes to do those things earlier, and he waited till the last 30 seconds. And so those are the things we really need to work with. Luke, in his match with Stieber, who is very talented, he has that shrug he just kept hitting Luke with, and it's one of those things where we had watched film, we knew it was coming, but until you actually feel it against a guy that hits it so as well as he does, you really can't prepare for it. I think the next time they wrestle, we'll be much more prepared for that matchup, and hopefully, be able to close that gap, and we can find a way to turn that match around.
And then also at 133, you're finishing off your top 3 wrestlers. Franco arguably faced the 2 best opponents combined, 2 of the top wrestlers at 133. Would you say his results were more towards the back of the quality of opponent was he playing, or do you think he could have seen more out of Jamie?
We definitely could have seen more out of him. I don't want to say that he couldn't beat those guys or he can't beat those guys, but they definitely, Stieber's defending national champ. Ramos was 3rd in the country. I think he's ranked 2nd right now. So, Jamie had the number 1 and number 2 guys in the country. It doesn't get any tougher than that for a day. But there's certain things that when the guys are wrestling, you want to see from them. And, Jamie has been a little hesitant all season long. That continued this weekend, and we need to correct that.
Jermaine Johnson gets your 1 victory of the weekend at 174. What did you see from his performance?
I thought Jermaine, even in the loss against Iowa, he was wrestling against Mike Evans, who is a very good kid. PJ beat him last year at Nationals. The kid was ranked 5th in the country last year as a freshman. So we knew that was going to be a tough matchup. Jermaine got taken down and turned right away, kind of put him down 5-0. But other than that, kind of brief lapse, he wrestled very well. He was offensive. He looked good. And then against Ohio State, he was very offensive. The first period, he got taken down off of his shots, so he gave up 2 takedowns off of his offensiveness and being aggressive. And then as the match went on, he was able to start converting his opportunities into points and just continuing to wear on the kid. So Jermaine, I thought in both matches looked the best out of anybody. He was offensive. He was going out there to win the matches, and which is what the staff preaches to everybody.
You had a couple lineup changes at the grapple at 157 and 184, Cody Rosarello and then Victor Puzny at 184. How do you evaluate those two performances?
Well, Cody, going out there at 157 pounds, wrestled from Iowa, St. John's #1 in the country. Tough matchup. He was definitely outsized. For that weight class, St. John was a lot bigger than he was. I thought he wrestled well. There's some things he has to clean up in his wrestling, though. I mean, it was the first time he's really been out there in almost 2 years. So he definitely has to gain some confidence in where he is, in all the injuries, that the injuries are healed and that he can go out there and wrestle well. So, he's still going through that whole process. Against Ohio State, he was wrestling a really athletic kid. I would have liked to see him do a couple more things on his feet. There are certain positions that we were telling him to look out for, and he still got hit with a move that we told him, watch this move, and boom, it happened. So, from those things, it's kind of frustrating as a coach to watch him go out there. Same thing with Victor. We put Victor out there. I wanted to see where he was. I thought at 100 against Iowa, it wasn't one of their better weight classes. I would have liked to see him be able to go out there and compete a little bit more. Ohio State, Kenny Courts is a very, very highly recruited kid coming out of high school. He's one of the top 5 kids in the country. He had a redshirt year and stuff like that. So he's a very good kid. He'll be moving up the rankings. But again, Victor, when he was listening to what we were telling him to do and doing the things we preach, was doing well. It's just he has too many breaks in his matches, and we got to get him to stop doing that.
Now, similar to the time you had to prepare for the grapple, you now have a couple of weeks before you head out to Northwestern for the Ken Craft Midlands Championships. What are you doing this time to continue to work and practice?
Well, we just need to stay focused on what we're doing. Just keep preaching to the guys that you just got to keep competing. You got to do more than you're doing right now if you want to have different results. If we keep doing the same things from an energy standpoint at practice, from extra workouts, standpoint, the results are going to be the same. You have to pick up your level. That's what the best kids in the country are doing, and that's why we scheduled this schedule so that come to the end of the year, we know where we are. A couple things we're going to do out at the Midland Championships is we're going to do a couple different things. We're going to bring 2 guys at 133 pounds. We're going to bring 2 guys at 184 pounds, and we're going to take 2 guys at 149 pounds. So we're going to start looking to see who's competing. We have a couple guys that aren't competing the way they should be, and their jobs are on the line. And so maybe this will help them get remotivated to go out there and wrestle better, and if not, then they won't be in the starting lineup anymore.
Now, finally, Coach, what's going to be your key to getting some of your veterans back on track out at Northwestern?
I think that the break for us right now with the holidays is coming at a good time. The guys can mentally kind of step back and regroup and just prepare for the Midlands and our conferences. And we got to just try and feel good about ourselves right now. Not be too negative. We had a rough first semester. Finally came to an end, and there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, it is what it is, and we got to keep moving forward. We have more matches to go, and we just need to prepare for those. So try and stay positive, and hopefully, get a win here and there that will get us going in the right direction and get some more positive reinforcement going.
The Hofstra Pride Wrestling team returns to the mats December 29th at the Ken Craft Midlands Championships. For head coach Rob Anspach, I'm Mike Sullivan. Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the W. Mason Coaches Report.